Profitable trading doesn't come from switching up your strategy every few months. See, the issue with learning on YouTube is that there are so many new golden new strategies popping up all the time. But the thing is, it's all just the same content repackaged up with a fancy new name on top. And once you realize that it's all just a facade, you see that you only need one single approach and to stop hopping around. And only then will you start to see consistent profitability. So over the past few years, I've been trading the exact same strategy every day at the same time, and it's so stupid simple that even a beginner can master it in just a matter of days. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my exact 5-step process of the 3 risk to reward strategy with live case studies so I can show you how it works. And as an added bonus, I'll even be revealing the hidden confirmation that I use on a day-to-day basis. So make sure to watch till the very end. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first part of the 5-step process we take for this 3 risk to reward strategy, it always comes down to directional bias. Now, without the directional bias, everything else afterwards is also going to be incorrect. So if we can nail this down in the beginning, this way we can start to move forwards. Now, essentially, directional bias always starts from one basic thing, and that's market structure. But remember, market structure is king. If you get this wrong, every bit of execution afterwards will also be wrong as well. Now, the idea behind market structure is essentially what type of trend are we in? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Or potentially are we consolidating? But one thing that many people actually forget to comprehend is the fact that there are these in-between periods. Now, these in-between periods are essentially ranges where you're going from breaker structures to change of characters. I'll show you an example. As you can see over here, from this point to this point, we clearly have an uptrend and price is continuously making further breaker structures towards the upside. We've got 1 point here, 1 point here, and another point here. And only until the next low actually fails to create this new breaker structure, that's when we can consider this a change of character. Now, how is this actually going to be determined as a proper change of trend? This is only once we get a change of character plus a break of structure. Now, once you've got these two things, that is essentially when you can really start to look for them high probability zones. As you can see at this point, we've got our first change of character over here, but we only really enter a stable downtrend until we see price pull back into this point over here and create another breaker structure downwards. So the change of character plus breaker structure, that is the proper trend shift. This is something that many people actually overlook. It's not one simple change of character. There's got to be more confirmation. Now, the next thing we've got to actually consider as well is strong versus weak primary structure. Now, essentially, primary structure is going to be our primary highs and lows within this trend. However, some of the highs and lows are not going to have the same weight as each other. A strong low is going to be identified by something that causes a breaker structure in this uptrend. So this would be considered the weak high because it got smashed through. And this is going to be considered the strong low because this is what did the breaker structure upwards. Again, as we continue onwards, this continues again and again up until the point where we get this first initial change of character. As you can see, rather than this being considered a weak high, it becomes a strong high. Why? Because it actually caused a proper shift in the trend. Price broke this previous strong low, and now we can consider this a strong area for price to actually rebound from. That's where we look for the pullback, the further breaker structure down, and now we have a shift in trend. So previously we had weak highs. Now we actually have strong highs within this downtrend. And this is something that continues to shift in different micro cycles all the way up, all the way down as well, especially in consolidation periods as well. Now, the next thing we've got to look at is the 3 main types of structure. We've got primary, secondary, and tertiary structure. Now, tertiary structure only is really considered when you're looking at the lower time frame movements, but what we've really got to look at is the primary and secondary. Now, primary is very basic. Essentially, what we've been looking at right now is the swing highs and the swing lows within the trend. As you can see over here, this is the last low that caused this major breaker structure upwards. That's exactly fine. That's what we're going to be looking for. But in my opinion, secondary structure is a lot more important when it comes to this 3 risk reward strategy. Why? Because we are executing on the 5-minute chart. Now, when we actually start to break this down on the charts, what you're going to realize is you're executing on the 5-minute chart, but you're actually taking your context from the 30-minute, maybe even the 1-hour chart. We'll look at that in just a second. But essentially, this is the exact frame of mind that we've got to keep in. Yes, we are working within the primary structural frames. However, this is really where we can start to look at some of the details, and only then this is where we can start to get the 3 risk reward strategy. Now, let's actually look at this live example. This is Euro USD in the month of January, just recently. And this is a perfect example of what the 3 risk reward strategy looks like. But before we get into the execution, let's see how this actually frames up on the 30-minute chart. Now, for me personally, I love to use the 5-minute for execution, 30-minute for the context. So here's how it goes. What we want to do first of all is we want to zoom out to the 30-minute chart. As we can see over here, this was our particular entry. The one thing that we've got to consider before is what was the trend up until that point. As we can clearly see, before this move actually happened, we were actually continuing on to the upside. A break structure here, again, and only until this strong low, which caused this breaker structure upwards, was broken at this exact point. That's when we can start to consider a shift in the trend. How do we actually validate this as a proper downtrend? We wait for further breaker structures, pullbacks, another breaker structure, pullback, and again, slowly, we can start to build up a proper frame in terms of where price is actually moving. And up until that point, what did we actually see? We are still within this downtrend. So all we are going to do at this point is now move on to step number 2. Yes guys, so I hope you're learning a lot from this video so far. Just a really quick one. I understand exactly what it's like being in your position, going on YouTube and learning from a bunch of different channels with different strategies and approaches to the markets. Now yes, you do gain a lot more knowledge, but what you really need is not that confusion. You need one singular system that's going to help you to pass in funded accounts and stay consistently profitable. So to make your journeys a whole lot easier, what I've done for you is I've released my exact A+ setup that I've developed over the past few years and still use on a daily basis. I've compiled all the PDFs, all the templates you're going to need, and even presented everything in a clear 7-step mini course so that's so easy to digest and apply yourselves as well. It's completely free, by the way, so make sure to sign up down below at one of the top links. Now anyways, let's get straight back into the video. Now step number 2 is all about the pullback into premium and discounted zones, and the reason why this is so important is because it helps us to identify the high quality points of interest. And that is obviously going to lead into a high quality execution much later on. Now let's look at a few examples. Essentially, when you're looking at premium and discounted markets, there's only 2 things that need to come to the front of your mind. Number 1, where are your primary highs and primary lows? These swing points are essentially going to validate our actual range. As we can see at this point, this is going to be considered our primary high, and this is going to be considered our primary low. From that point onwards, you're going to set a Fibonacci retracement. So if you go to the top left-hand corner, put up the Fibonacci retracement and drag it from the bottom to the top if you are in an uptrend, or the top to the bottom if you are in a downtrend. The settings I want you to actually keep on are these 3. You want the 0 line, you want the number 1 line, and you want the 0.62 fib retracement. The colors or whatever you can choose, and that's up to your discretion. From that point onwards, we are going to validate certain points of interest on our move upwards. Now, of course, as price is going to move upwards on the internal structure, there are going to be multiple order blocks and multiple points of interest. The least probable points of interest are going to be at the top of the range, and the higher quality points of interest are going to be at the bottom of the range, more in the discounted zone. So what you're going to do, you're going to link up your Fibonacci retracement tool up until this point. You're then going to link it up to the particular order blocks that you're looking at. And then from that point, we pick our execution. Now, does this necessarily mean that price will always pull back into these massive discounted or premium markets? Definitely not. And that's where we have to be quite discretionary at some points when waiting for our points of interest. But later on in this video, I'll show you a mechanical way to actually enter on these points of interest so you don't have to guess how to actually wait for them. Now, looking at the live markets, again, we want to relate everything up until that point. We can see that this was our last primary high and this was our last primary low. Within that point, what we're going to do is mark out our Fibonacci retracement tool. So again, we pick it out from the top left-hand corner, from the top to the bottom. As we can see over here, there are a few points of interest that we can actually keep in mind. We've got 1 right at the top of the range. We've got number 2 right over here. And again, in terms of picking our points of interest, essentially what you want to look for is an untouched order block, and you want something that has left a fair value gap straight afterwards as well. As you can see, this is untapped, plus there's a fair value gap straight after. This is untapped, plus there's a fair value gap straight after. And you could even argue, potentially we had one right over here. So which one is going to be our highest probability zone? Of course, it's going to be the one in the most premium zone. So it's going to be this one over here. Now, does it mean that price is always going to retrace back to that particular area? Absolutely not. And this is what leads us on into the next step. Now, step number 3 is all going to be about time and price. And in particular, we're going to be looking at the lower time frame sweeps in terms of liquidity. Now, taking a look at this particular example, what we can actually see is this. We have now linked up with our directional bias. We obviously know that we are moving towards the downside with these continuous breaker structures down and pullbacks. The next thing we've got to look at is step number 2, the pullback into the premium and discounted zone. And the final step before getting into our execution is going to be looking for them internal liquidity sweeps. Now, what can we actually see over here? In this particular point, we've got our build up of Asia range. Now, your Asia range is going to be between 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. GMT in the morning. This is the particular zone that we look for a consolidation period. From that point onwards, still within our London session, we are going to look for a sweep above or below this piece of liquidity. Now, in this particular example, we've got Asia moving towards the upside. It's still consolidating, however, moving towards the upside. We have now touched this particular point of interest. We've pulled back into the premium zone. And the next thing is we've now seen a sweep above this level. Once we see the sweep, essentially what we're going to be looking at is our next step. But step number 3 is always going to be very, very simple. We look for one single sweep above or below our Asia range. Now, step number 4 is all about that market structure shift. Essentially, at this point, we now have everything locked in terms of the context. All we need to look for is our actual execution. And what better way is there than to confirm the actual change in the trend? Now, as you can see in this particular example, we've already had this sweep above the liquidity. But how do we actually confirm that we are now going to be moving towards the downside? Well, of course, the market actually needs to show us, and I'll explain to you why. Essentially, when we're at this particular point, let's say we've got our point of interest marked up at this particular zone. Our Asia range is now consolidating around here. We obviously are waiting for a downward direction in terms of directional bias. We look for a sweep above over here, tap into our point of interest, and then eventually we're looking for price to go downwards. Now, we'll tell you there's 2 potential options that price could actually move in. Number 1, price could actually touch the Asia mid-range and move towards the upside. Or potentially, option number 2 is it breaks this level, pulls back, and then continues towards the downside as well. This is the particular thing that we're going to be looking at. Now, in hindsight, it's all well and good looking back on the charts and seeing, okay, cool, it swept above, broke down, now we're looking for the pullback and the entry. But in the real life markets, you may be left with this confusion. Is price going to be moving upwards, or is it potentially going to break down and start to continue with the breaker structures downwards? Now, we'll tell you there's one little help that can really, assist you in this particular zone. And it's all about that step number 1. Remember how I said directional bias is the most important thing? We want to stick to that directional bias. If the 30-minute is telling us we're bearish, if the 5-minute is telling us we're bearish, and even let's say the daily chart is telling us we're bearish, that's when we can go all in on that trade. And this particular example, we've now got step number 4 completely covered. Now, step number 5 is all about market execution. And this one little tip took my one-to-one bootcamp student Ethan from a 34% win rate to an 82% win rate overall in just 5 one-to-one reviews. Now, this is all because of the entire system that we've got, but one of the most important parts is this market execution. Now, when most people are getting into smart money concepts or ICT, they usually enter on the normal smart money concept strategy. And this is to do with entry limits. The problem with this is there are too many points of interest and you don't know which one to enter. There's a lower win rate and you can never be too confident with the trades that you actually insert into the markets. Now, the better option is waiting for the engulfing candle strategy. This is essentially waiting for them reactions and looking at the minor details. Now, how does this actually work? Essentially, what we want to look for is price pullback into the point of interest, give you a lower time frame change of character, the extra lower time frame pullback, and then the final entry model. Now, there's 2 types of confirmations that we can actually enter on. There's type 1 with no structural break, and there's type 2 with after a structural break. The first one is going to be a lower confirmation, and to be honest, I rarely ever enter something like this. Number 2 is going to be much higher quality. Why? Because you know that lower time frame movement has given you that idea that price is already reversing. It's giving you that bit of relaxation or that pullback into price, and then eventually price displaces upwards and start to give you that engulfing candle. Now, how does this actually work in the live markets? As you can see in our example that we've been showing all video, price has dealt with all the context. We know that we are looking towards the downside. It's now had this market structure shift. We waited for the pullback and then the engulfing candle. All we are simply going to do is exactly this. Wait for price to engulf over here and then we enter. At first, we're going to set price, and this is my bonus tip that you've been waiting for as well, my trade management system. And by the way, I've optimized this over the last 6 months, and the results have been insane. 30 risk to reward on average across years of data. Over 500 trade data, this is one of the things that made the biggest difference. You want to enter, take profit at 3 risk to reward, and that's only going to be a 75% partial. Once we've got that on board, we now wait for price. As price moves onwards, we wait for the original point of interest to get mitigated. Once we actually see this, an engulfing candle away, we now trail our stop loss just above here, and we slowly start to trail the stop loss ever so slowly up until the 3 risk reward take profit. Now, as price starts to move onwards, we can see price is now pulled back. If we get an engulfing candle down, perfect, we move our trailed stop loss at this point. We then continue all the way downwards up until 3 risk reward. We now take 75% partials at this point, and we simply extend the take profit all the way up to around a 5 risk reward. Once we see this, we then trail our stop loss gradually. As you can see, price is starting to move onwards. We've already taken most of our partials up until this point. We then wait for further breaker structures downwards. As you can see, once we've got this point over here, we trail our stop loss even further. Right there. Wait for a pullback. Another engulfing candle. So we're now starting to get that perfectly over there. We move our trailing stop loss over here. And then again, at this point over here. And you could even gradually move it all the way up until this point over here, because around 5 risk to reward, this is where we're going to be bottoming out of our trade. Then eventually we wait for price to hit the trailing stop loss, and eventually the trade is completely done at exactly this point. So this is the exact 5-step framework that I've been showing you throughout this entire video. If you want to see this actually being back tested right in front of you, click one of the links over here and it will take you straight to that point. If you enjoyed this, make sure to get the 48-page free PDF guide down below. And guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.